Most people are sleepwalking through life. They're breathing, but they're not awake. And I know what you're thinking. Wait, Avery, does that mean people are secretly zombies and society has been lying to us this whole time? Not quite. In one of my online leadership classes through ASU, my professor shared a clip from a movie that I found unforgettable. Though I didn't retain every detail from that class, that scene is stuck in my head, and it is from the movie Joe versus the Volcano. And I ended up liking that clip so much that I found it on YouTube, screen recorded it, and saved it to my camera roll.
Your life seems unbelievable to me. All of this, life seems unbelievable to me.
My father says that almost the whole world is asleep. Everybody you know, everybody you see, everybody you talk to. He says that only a few people are awake, and they live in a state of constant, total amazement.
Most people are sleeping, but few are, as Meg Ryan's character said, are in a constant state of total amazement. Being awake in today's society has nothing to do with your eyes being open, but actually living in a way that makes you feel alive. And most people are existing, but they're not actually living. So in today's video, I'm going to teach you how to get there. Hi sunshines, welcome back to my channel. My name is Avery, and I am your spicy and savage Christian ENTJ internet bestie, and I'm on a mission to help you become the happiest, highest, holiest, healthiest, and hottest version of yourself. So now, without further ado, let's get into it. First things first, to be in a constant state of total amazement, appreciate the beauty of the surroundings around you. Start living like Rapunzel after she first leaves the tower. Remember how she's frolicking through the field, she's dancing, she's spinning around, she's so happy. She's in this state of wonder, purity, and bliss, and she's trying new things. She has this very childlike play sense of quality about her, which makes her so captivating and magnetic, and you can tell that she is truly alive in that moment. Start living like you're seeing the world for the first time, and truly ground yourself and immerse yourself in what's happening around you. Allow yourself to stop and smell the roses and truly appreciate God's artistry, because it's also about having this childlike sense of wonder and purity. When children see something cool or striking, they're not afraid to stare at it and admire it. They also are curious, they're explorers, they ask a bunch of questions, they're not afraid to be themselves, be whimsical, and showcase their personality. And I'm not talking about the immaturity that children have. I'm talking about this fantasy world that they create in their heads where everything is magical. They're believing in Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy and the Easter Bunny, and everything is significant and special to them. It's about living in this way where you're dancing like nobody's watching, where you're singing no matter who can hear you, and not being afraid to say what you feel and what you truly mean. Also, allow yourself to get excited about new places and experiences. I know that as adults, it's easier to be like, oh, it's just another restaurant. Oh, it's just a store. It's just a concert, whatever. Stop putting those limitations on yourself and allow yourself to be in this state of wonder and reverence of whatever it is that you deep down are excited about but you're repressing. I went to San Diego almost 3 years ago, and it was my first time visiting California. California is my favorite state, and I'm moving there next month, which I am stoked about. But anyways, oh my gosh, I was living like Rapunzel for sure. I was in awe. I was breathtaking. I was taken aback by palm trees. I've never seen palm trees, or I have, but I was younger. But anyways, the point is that I wasn't familiarizing myself with my surroundings, but I was truly taking them in and allowing myself to express my excitement. Be grateful and express gratitude. And gratitude is not 3 things you force yourself to write to remind yourself not to take things for granted. It is this feeling of enlightenment and bliss when you are stopping in the moment to appreciate whatever is happening around you and living in this blossoming place of happiness. Gratitude is sincere when you're actually living and feeling gratitude and not just practicing a ritualized form of gratitude. It means that you are living in the moment. You're allowing yourself to linger no matter how much is on your plate that day. You're taking inspired action. And you're not allowing yourself to take that time for granted. You're choosing to stop and smell the roses, even if it means sacrificing some other things on your agenda for that day. Gratitude is also one of the highest vibrational frequencies, but you can't just say the gratitude and thanksgiving. You actually have to feel it, because that is what magnetizes your manifestations to you. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Spend time in nature and connect with people face to face. Spending time in nature, and let me quickly say, spending time in nature does not mean you have to go on a 3-hour hike in the mountains, because I am not that kind of girl. Spending time in nature could literally mean sitting on your back patio while you're eating breakfast or lunch and admiring and appreciating what is happening around you. And it's allowing yourself to ground, because humans and nature were both created by God. You are getting back to where you were meant to be. God didn't design humans to be glued to their phones 24/7 or to be sitting in a cubicle for 8 hours straight, typing away on their computers. When you're connecting with nature, you're connecting with God, which is why so many people, including transcendentalists, they feel so much more at peace. I wanted to say calamity, but I think that's the opposite, calmness and serenity when they're in nature, because it gives them a break from whatever is happening, like the chaos in the real world, and is reminding them of the simpler things in life, and that life is so much grander than whatever problems are happening in your life. Like, your problems are itty bitty in comparison to this massive, enormous, gargantuan world around you. I started to talk about a point, but then I got sidetracked. So about spending time in nature, you could go for bike rides, go for walks or runs, just anything where you are taking yourself outside of your house. And I know introverts, you don't have to go out with other people to do this. You can do this alone. And actually, most transcendentalists were INFJs. You could lay in the grass, sit in the grass. I've been told to sit bare feet with my feet on the grass and really feel the dirt and the ground beneath my toes. Or if you are a nature hiker, mountain climber type person, that's an option for you as well. These transcendentalists like Henry Thoreau, I really hope that's his name. I learned about this in my junior year of high school. They are some of the most renowned outside of the box critical thinking thinkers. And they state these high vibrational enlightened quotes because that they have found this grounding through spending so much time in nature. These people, they weren't city boys or city gals. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing either, because I'm a city girly for sure. I'm moving to LA for crying in the sink. But what I am saying is that by spending this time in nature, you actually can hear your own thoughts, and you can be in tune with the energy of the trees and the water around you, and you are more in a peaceful state of being. Now, regarding connecting with people, there's something different about connecting people face to face rather than through a phone or computer screen. Like, you can't see people's reactions or watch them light up about what they're passionate about or how they react to something through messaging, even with emojis. And I always use emojis so people know whatever I'm feeling. But like, for example, I have this one friend, she's super bubbly, spontaneous, and animated. Like, her face is a mood ring. She doesn't need one, but whenever she messages me, she doesn't use emojis, so it's low-key kind of dry, which is so opposite of her. But I know that on the opposite side of the phone, she was probably like super giggly and radiant about it. You also don't have the capability to experience empathy when you're connecting with people on social media. Like, yes, You may have sympathy for their situation or for whatever they're going through, but that emotional connection is watered down because you're just looking at little letters on a screen. Too much screen connection also breeds familiarity with whatever that person is going through or normalizes having that connection with them, and really sucks out all of the excitement and the presence that that person has within them. And that's another thing too, is you don't get to sit with that person and feel their energy and their presence and witness everything about them that makes them human. When you're messaging with somebody, or even if you're calling somebody and like doing FaceTime, that's a little bit different, but you can't have that spiritual energetic connection that you would if you were sitting with them face to face. Don't accept anything that is hearsay or at face value, and develop your own opinion, because being a critical thinker is a crucial element to aliveness. Don't just go along to get along with whatever opinion somebody is speaking, even if they are your friends or somebody you're close with. Just because that you have that deep bond, it doesn't mean that you have to agree with whatever they're saying. And if you don't know whatever the topic is to form your opinion, take the time to research it. Open your mind, allow yourself to be curious, and make sure to study both sides, or even if there's a variety of arguments, allow yourself to focus a little bit on each one of them to see which really resonates with you and your beliefs, and don't allow whatever somebody else says to stick to your subconscious mind as truth. They are entitled to their own opinions, and so are you, and do not be ashamed about whatever you believe. They're your beliefs and your values. That's what makes you so magnetic. I'm not saying be rude, but be unfiltered about it. Say exactly what you mean and do not beat around the bush. That's something that I found that makes me super attractive to other people. Ever since I started saying things off the cuff and keeping it real 100% of the time, that's when I noticed that people would gravitate towards me, because I was living in my authenticity, and I didn't give a crap about whatever people thought about me or whatever I had to say. I was just living in, I don't want to say my truth, because truth is unchanging. It is not relative, so that isn't accurate. But I was sticking to who I am and who I was, and I wasn't being wavering about it. It's sexy to be smart, and I find it super attractive when somebody else knows what they stand for and is passionate when they're backing it up, especially when they're gathering evidence too. Like, dang! Reconnect with your inner child and start incorporating more activities that light them up. This was something that I put on my vision board for 2024, or no, it was all my ins and outs of 2024, was to start doing things that would ignite my inner child and make little Avery super happy and bring her that sense of joy. So some activities for me that were ways that I connect with my inner child include doing Just Dance, coloring. I've also been acknowledging my dreams and desires that little Avery had and bringing them forth to fruition, going after those goals, knowing that I'm not just impressing the highest future version of myself, but the little 10-year-old girl who's still within me. And I listen to music from my childhood years, like from the 2010s era of pop music, the best music. I'd recommend making a list of at least 10 items of things that you love to do when you were a child, or dreams, beliefs that you had that you want to incorporate more of into your life today, and then actually schedule the time to do those things. Don't put a cap on your creativity. A lot of people think that they aren't creativity because they have the definition of creativity confused. Creativity does not equal artistic ability. Creativity is taking something that was from your imagination with originality and then bringing it into the 3D. We are all creative because we are all co-creators of our own reality, because if God is the creator of the universe and the Spirit of God dwells within us, then that means we have imparted his creative abilities When you receive an idea or impartation, a download, as I like to call it, act on it, because otherwise God will give that idea to somebody else, and either you will still have the idea, but you'll lose the spark and the joy that you had when you first received it, or you're going to forget about it. And when you're allowing yourself to be creative, don't put any limits on yourself as to what you think you can and can't do, and don't put any time restraints on your creativity as well, because that's going to cap how much of this fluid, intuitive, artistic energy that you are putting out into the world. Work hard so you can play harder, or in my case, work hard so you can shop harder. If you were to make a list of everything you would like to do within either the time span of your whole life or within 1 year, and money is the only thing holding you back, either make another list of ways that you can make that money so you can go on those vacations, see those experiences, or purchase those materialistic items, or focus on building your skill set and developing and accumulating skills that are what employers are looking for, or some of the best skill sets to have, like sales and AI. Like, I know those are some of the top skill sets that are the most highly sought after. That was the word that my brain was looking and picking for. And by doing so, by either niching down on one skill set or developing a variety of different skills, then you can become an expert in your field, which will then grant you those advantages to allow you to become the top paying person, because you are the best of the best. Never let anyone or anything, including yourself, hold you back from achieving the life of your dreams. Besides the devil, you are your worst enemy and the only thing standing in your way. I saw this quote on X from Robert Greene the other day, and even though deep within me I knew it was true, it still blew my mind. I'll throw it up here for you. And it said something about how we as humans, we love ourselves the most, yet we are still prioritizing other people's opinions over our own. And I was aghast. I was gonna say gassed. There's a Gen Z slang term that I was thinking of, but aghast, that will also work. It was shook. The word I was thinking of was shook. But anyways, if it means going against somebody else's wishes to obtain the life of your dreams and go after something you want, do it. It is worth the risk. You do not want to be 80 years old looking back on your life and wishing that you hadn't lived your life for other people. Why are you worrying about what future corpses are going to think about you when you're doing something to live a life that is completely yours? Like, please. Also, anytime somebody is trying to talk you out of doing something that you know you are called to do, let it go in one ear and out the other. Do not accept it as truth and just reject it. Imagine there's this little button, you know, like for the game shows, and it says reject. Just hit the reject button and completely zone out. Even my dad has been telling other people to talk me out of moving to LA. And once I'm set on something, no human is in the right or has the power to change my mind, because I am that stubborn about what I want, and you should be too. God placed that dream in your heart for a reason. If you are feeling like you are being called to something, or something is so magnetic to you, but you don't know why, it is because that's your purpose. It is like your future self from another timeline is communicating with you to let you know that you're on the right path. This is what you're supposed to do. Romanticize your life. A lot of the influencers in the personal development niche will tell you to romanticize your life, but You don't know what that means. So guess what? I'm gonna give you a definition if nobody else will. So romanticizing your life means to squeeze every drop out of the moment to make it as juicy as possible. Like when you're squeezing those lemons to make lemonade, imagine you're extracting every possible ounce of joy, gratitude, and bliss from that situation as possible to make it something that makes you feel like you are that girl or like you're living in a fairy tale dreamland. Think of it as life-maxing. You're doing whatever you can to make your day to its ultimate fulfilled potential. Add intentional moments of whimsy to your day to make yourself feel like the main character that you are. And I'll give you some examples too. Buy cute little teacup sets or mugs to drink your coffee or tea from instead of plain boring white mug. Like, who would be excited about that? Or get fun designs on your nails. You don't have to get some basic French tip. Get designs that will make you gagging over your nails and visually drooling over them. Or curate playlists on Spotify for every one of your moods, so no matter what kind of vibes you're feeling, you're ready for it. And even add some cute little emojis and aesthetic cover images from Pinterest. That way you can truly immerse yourself in those vibes. Nostalgia is proof that life is worth living. When I heard this quote, I looked like Ghostface. That was like nostalgia. The best way to describe it is that it is a bittersweet feeling. So whenever you are feeling nostalgic over something, you're only nostalgic over it is because you miss it. You're feeling those feelings of nostalgia because that's you relishing the moment, trying to relive it, and longing for that experience or for those memories with those people again. So that is proof that your life is not boring or dull, and that is also a form of gratitude if you deeply think about it. People say that the journey is more valuable than the destination, which to some extent I would agree with, but I'd like to go even deeper and say that it is not the journey that is the most valuable or precious. It is the people that you meet along the way and the memories you make with them that truly makes life worth living. My favorite parts of life weren't the moments when I was on top of the mountain with the flag stapled into its peak or whatever. It wasn't when I was climbing the mountain to progress on my journey there. It were the moments when I met other climbers along the way and helped pull people up with me. And of course, the connections that we made together. You accomplishing your goals and the journey getting there is important. Yes, of course, I don't want to disqualify that for you at all. But what's going to be even more profound and meaningful for you are the connections that you've made, the friendships that have blossomed, and the impartations you've made on other people's lives. Realize that you live every day, but you only have one life. This is like an extension of YOLO, you only live once. You only live once, but it's like, that's true, I guess, if you were to say that you only have one life, but you actually live every day. And I'm pretty sure YOLO was founded by Drake, so to bridge the Drake gap. I don't listen to much of his music. I have heard a few of his songs though, and this was from Moment for Life with Nicki Minaj. There's one line from the song that made me stop that made me stop in my tracks, and again, the jaw drop ghost face thing. It says, I'm really trying to make it more than what it is, cause everybody dies, but not everybody lives. Gagged. I'm gonna let you sit with that one for a moment. Life's too short. I'm gonna get that tatted on my right shoulder for sure. It is one of my favorite mantras and quotes to go by. We think that time is unlimited, but it is very much not. And there's two songs that come to mind. Pretty sure it's Ghost by Justin Bieber and Only Love by Katy Perry. Whenever I need a perspective check, I listen to that song and just wow. Like JB says, young blood thinks there's always tomorrow. But there's not, unfortunately. So my advice to you is to stop procrastinating on what is actually meaningful and important. Tell that person how you feel. Say whatever has been on your chest for however long, and do the dreams or do the actions that you've been wanting to do. Stop letting life hold you back. Don't say for tomorrow what you would have died regretting today. It's better to try something and fail than to not even attempt and then live with that regret. When you're on your deathbed, you're not going to be thinking about everything that you tried to do that didn't work out. You're going to be wondering what could have happened if you hadn't been such a coward and done the thing that God placed on your heart and on your mind. You're going to hate yourself more over the things that you didn't do than the things that you tried that didn't work out. Because at least you'll be able to say that you did it and that you know the outcome. And lastly, do it all one day, because you don't want to look back on your life one day and say that you wish you have. Literally live out, I lived by one republic. I did it all. I owned every second that this world could give. Saw so many places and things that I did. And with every broken bone, I swear I lived. I'm not going to be singing for y'all, but that's the chorus. That is it for today's video. I hope this video inspired you and motivated you to intentionally happen to your life before life happens to you. By implementing or at least deeply pondering about any of these steps and allowing it to really seep into your mind and dictate your actions, you will be on your way to being in a constant state of total amazement and no longer being a sleepwalking zombie. Another song that I would highly recommend listening to is Chained to the Rhythm by Katy Perry. The lyrics of that one would also be very well suited for the topic of this video. All 4 of the songs that I mentioned are only going to open those eyeballs even more. So with that being said, all of my socials are going to be linked in the description in case you want to become closer friends. And with that being said, I will see you in the next video. I love you. Jesus loves you more, and I'll bye.